Hello everyone!
Hi guys!
It's nearly Christmas, so Dan and I have purchased a lot of stuff over the year.
It's been a very fragrant year.
We've got some nice fragrances.
It's
we
nearly
smell
finished.
good.
There are a few days left.
I reckon we still will get quite a lot of fragrances done.
Another couple of dozen.
But we wanted to talk to you about... I know what that is. We wanted to talk to you about 5 fragrances that we've each purchased this year that we've just been enjoying.
Yeah.
And that we would consider maybe our best buys.
So they're not. This is not the best releases of the year.
No. Some of these are old, aren't they?
Certainly, for speaking of mine, very few of these, maybe even only 1 or 2 of these were released this year. These are just things. Some of them I've been after for a while. Other than I just found out about this year, and I'm most happy to have purchased.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about them.
Are you going to go first?
Yeah, I'm going to go first. So
hit me.
I'm trying to do this kind of chronologically. So the first one is probably, of all the fragrances I own, the one I coveted for the longest. It's kind of almost before I really got interested in fragrances. It's one whenever I passed through airports, I smelled it and thought, oh, that's so expensive, but one day I could have it. It smelled so unique, so classy, so beautiful, and I've been umming and ahhing about getting it for ages, and it still excites me as much now. Now I own a bottle as it did years and years ago. This is from the House of Chanel, from their exclusive line. This is
stunning.
Coromandel, the EDT version.
So the EDT was the original, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah, I think that's right. Now lots of people describe this as a patchouli scent. I don't think of it as a patchouli scent at all. I think of 3 things. So one, I get this kind of lacquered wood, which is what Coromandel refers to. It's this late 19th century fashion for this wood from China, and they make these
screens.
Yeah, they make these kind of screens. So it smells like wood which has been kind of freshly polished.
Very beautiful stuff.
The other thing is this white chocolate note, which I find I've not, the first time I smelled it in here, I hadn't encountered it anywhere else. It's so beautiful. And
it's not like Milky Way.
No.
Milky Bar. It's not. It's very rich.
So, and then the third thing is benzoin, and this is the fragrance which made me look up what because I read it on Fragrant and read people talk about. They kept mentioning the benzoin. I was like, what is it? What is it? And then I smelt it as a kind of the raw ingredient as the oil, and it just adds this creamy, rich. It's not necessarily spicy, but I adore this scent. It makes me. It still smells so special to me. Now I've got it. I will never be without a bottle.
No, I think it's wonderful.
We should also mention how we acquired these, because the way we buy fragrance, and the way I suggest a lot of you buy fragrance as well, is you don't always need to pay full retail. I bought this off a Facebook group. It was pretty much full when I got it. I think I got it for about £75.
Bargain.
So
bargain.
Quite a long way under the retail price. So don't always think that the full retail price is the only way to buy it. There are lots of opportunities on eBay. If you're buying on eBay, be careful, but there are lots of discount sites as well.
Yeah, but shop around and see what you can do.
I love it. I'm so happy to have this.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I really get that fresh polish thing.
I do get the patchouli thing underneath though.
I mean, it's definitely...
It's earthy patchouli,
I mean, I'm not saying, of course, there's a lot of patchouli, but this isn't just... People say, oh, it's a great patchouli scent. I think it's so much more. Yes, it is a patchouli scent. I'm not saying I don't get patchouli. Of course I do. But what makes it magical is not the patchouli, it's those other things I've just talked about.
It's a very advanced patchouli, isn't it? It's
just so
It's
sexy.
got a lot more going on.
It makes me feel so classy whenever occasionally I smell it on people, and they always just seem to be, elegant, really classy, brilliant people.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to someone here, a friend of mine, Joel. You know him as well. Wonderful singer. He's fallen in love with this very fragrance.
Yeah.
And he'd never smelt it before, and it's blown his mind. So, Coromandel, we agree.
Beautiful. What's your first one?
My first one, I'm going chronologically, so something that Dan introduced me to originally, and which I've fallen in love with. I'm not wearing it a lot at the moment because it's the cooler weather, but come the spring, I'll be on this stuff again, and this is Tobacco Rose from Papillon, again, and in our last video, I think I talked briefly about...
Yeah, about Anubis.
Anubis, which I love, and Zalame.
But as I said, I mean, all of her releases are amazing. I mean, this is if you're a rose lover, or even if you think you're not a rose lover, give this a chance.
Try it. I mean, I think with your cold, you may not get all of it, but
I wore this a few days ago actually. it's green rose, it's sweet rose, it's a jammy rose. It's so elegant.
And it's earthy as well. It's like the soil as well as the rose. You know, without any patchouli connotations.
There's also interesting linking these two slightly. There's a beeswax quality, which reminds me of the kind of almost of the wood,
the lacquery stuff.
Completely different fragrances, but you know, I'm very lucky to have that in my house.
Beautiful.
And I'm very happy that you've got it in yours.
Well, you inspired me.
Well,
this is what we did.
Yeah,
and again, I didn't get this. I didn't get this directly from Papillon. Actually, I got this on a group,
on a Facebook group.
And the others I actually have bought all full retail, but that's just because they were only available there. But this, I can't remember the price. It was a brilliant price, and I just thought I would be an absolute insane person if I didn't get it. So I ordered it in the back of the taxi.
Beautiful. How romantic. Love it. Yeah.
Lovely.
Right. So talking about coveting prices, perfumes. This next one, by the time I found out about it and later got a sample of it, you could no longer buy it. So that was a real kick in the nuts. And the problem was, I started to hear people talking about it, read a few reviews about it. I thought, God, this sounds like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And then managed to get a sample. I thought I was lucky to get hold of the sample. It was actually a decant of about 10 ml, so it's pretty decent. But then I smelt it and I thought, what is this?
Yeah.
This is the most luxurious, enveloping.
Exciting.
It's one we haven't mentioned before. It's from the house of Areej Dore. It is Ottoman Empire, which is the sort of mother of all floral, musky amazingness. So I've not got very much. I bought this again from an online group. I've used a bit, but there was about, I don't know what it was, 18 mil, and I bought it for about 75 quid, which does seem like a lot of money, but as far as I'm concerned, it's one of my best buys of the year, and it's one for, oh my God.
I mean, that must be like one of your top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really incredibly special. And I know I haven't got very much of it left, but that will last me a long time.
You know, I feel guilty smelling it just because I'm stealing molecules.
A couple of sprays goes an enormous way.
It's enormous,
and it's a very, very special occasion. I've only worn it a few times this year. One of its occasions was for a very, very good friend's wedding. I think the other times I was just at home, drinking a bottle of wine, crying, smelling my wrist,
exactly.
which is a good way to try it.
But I mean, this thing here, it does transport you away 1,000 miles. All of these fragrances are wonderful and beautiful in their different ways. This feels like another level above. I don't know what it is and what it's doing.
Yeah, but
it feels like the fragrance to end all fragrances.
Yeah, it's an absolute beast.
Oh,
beautiful.
Mate, excellent choice.
I'm very lucky to have. As soon as it came up on Facebook, it was like, bam, take my money, take my car, take my house, take my wife, whatever you want.
Well, no, leave Kate behind.
Yeah,
because
give me
there will be no one to smell you and say how nice you smell.
Pardon me.
Yeah, that's enough. So my next thing, chronologically speaking, something that I picked up on a whim. I'd wanted it for a while, and it's a house that I love, and I don't own enough of from this house. And it's this little bad boy here, Tempo.
Yes.
By Diptyque. So we were talking about patchouli earlier on. Sorry, I've not unboxed these yet, so they're all taking a little while. But it's a very, very beautiful. It's really nice. Yeah. I mean, they lay it out for you really properly. They've changed this since the sort of Oud Palau days. So this is patchouli primarily, but there's pink pepper, there's bergamot, there's lovely resinous stuff. There you go, man. I would say now, looking back on it, having smelled a lot of other patchouli as well, I think this is good for someone that's maybe not massively daring with their patchouli, but just wants something that's very wearable and beautiful.
It's so different to Coromandel.
Yeah, it's a different beast.
Completely different personality.
And the sweetness in here. At first, it took me a while to get on board with, but now I really like it.
And it smells. Again, we've talked a bit about a lot of fragrances we just wear for ourselves. This is the kind of fragrance I would like to project to others.
Yes, absolutely.
It absolutely screams class.
Like we were talking about with St. Giles, weren't we?
Yeah.
You know that this smells beautiful. You can tell on first spray. It's like if you've made a really good meal.
Yeah.
You think, yeah, I know that's good. I want to invite some people around to try this because it's really nice. And a wonderful house. They're being bold. They've done things like this. They've done the sort of more traditional things, the lighter things like Philosopos, Oud Palau. I think the bravest thing they've done yet to date.
One of the dirtier rose ouds.
Yeah, it really is.
Good house.
It's
great
so
house.
beautiful.
Good
Tempo.
purchase. Right, my third one. So, as I said, these are not all recent releases. This the one I'm about to talk about is one that was released about just under 100 years ago, I think. And so I've got two other formulations, modern versions of it, the EDT and the EDP. I wanted to try and get an X-ray of it.
I know what this is.
I'm keeping it in this little felt box. I really don't want to drop it because it's only a small bottle. This is Shalimar by Guerlain.
It's so beautiful.
So this is the pure Parfum. Comes in this absolutely gorgeous, beautiful little glass bottle.
That's a work of art in itself, isn't it?
This, I think it was released, was it 1925?
Yeah.
So it's around that time. But this bottle was produced in 1978. And you can become a little bit obsessed with hunting for old perfumes, and I know there are loads of people who devote their life to it. You see them going around lots of antiques fairs, and I try not to get drawn into it. And also, you see these Guerlain bottles going for £1,000.
Oh, it can be a nightmare. Yeah.
I was so lucky. So this was listed a bit strangely. It was just called Old Shalimar or something. I got it on eBay, so I only paid £45 for this, and I've seen them regularly go for £100. And this is, so I'll just dab it on my wrist a little bit. But this is, again, this is now, I'm so happy to have it in my collection. This is definitely kind of top 10 in my collection.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's good.
I've already got a few other things in my hand, but even this.
It's perfection.
It's absolutely,
They don't make it like this anymore. They really don't.
I mean, the bergamot and the vanilla in the opening is so vivid and so juicy compared to the modern versions.
So we should point out for anyone that doesn't know what's going on in the state of perfumery these days, this is before IFRA have come along and basically decimated a huge number of perfumes from their original incarnations. So this thing here it's like having the original manuscript of.
Well, not quite original. The bottle was produced in 1978, so it's still, and people say, the further you go back, obviously it's closer to the original one. If you want to get an original one, you probably are talking about thousands. But I count myself very, very lucky, almost privileged to have something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of a historical snapshot.
It really is. Almost like not worth wearing too often, just so that it's.
But you've got to
sort of preserve it for the next
little
generation. Oh, it's stunning, absolutely stunning. Oh my God.
Lovely animalic undertones.
Again, I need to get that. There's a lot more going on than the modern versions.
Achingly
even
sexual.
The modern EDP now is beautiful, but
even the
that's
modern
another
X-ray,
level.
Modern X-ray, it's so
Wonderful,
sexy. It's overtly sexy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also the other thing is,
Guerlain are still the
guys.
monsters,
If you look up this, occasionally I've mentioned this and I've mentioned some of these Guerlain fragrances, and they say, but it says for women. I mean, guys, especially there are lots of these Guerlain fragrances, but especially Shalimar, even the modern versions, there's nothing feminine about them at all.
No.
Especially the EDP. If you like Dore Parfum, you like the kind of iris in that, the kind of leathery iris.
You'd enjoy this.
You'd love Shalimar EDP. So check
and it was made. The saying was that it was made for. No woman would be seen wearing Shalimar.
Smoking, dancing the tango, or wearing Shalimar. It's because it's far too sexy.
And they were naughty women, and they were bold and brave.
Right.
We're naughty men. So what's next? What did I get next?
Don't know.
I got this. Yes. So again, we talked about this on a video before, but I'm very pleased with this because it fulfills a few different things. Chiefly amongst which was my need for something that harkened a little bit back to the old Tuscan leather that I had. Dan knows what this is already, I think.
Yeah.
And it's from Mr. Tom Ford, and it's ombre leather, which to all smellings I've done, is just the same thing as the ombre leather 16 private blend.
Absolutely. It's kind of difficult because on one hand I want to say we haven't reviewed many designer releases this year.
No, but there are some good ones.
But it's difficult to say this is a designer release because it is, a re-release of the private label. But if you are talking about it as an out-and-out designer release, definitely I would have to say it's the best male fragrance designer release of the year.
I think it's a real hit. I mean, it was £100.
Yeah.
Which is approximately half the price.
But it's for a private label, niche level fragrance.
And it's beautiful. It's Tuscan leather, but it's got this sort of coriander spice in the opening as well, which keeps it nice and energized.
And just some people find Tuscan leather a bit difficult to wear, so some of those edges are just rounded off a little.
Yeah, he's made it more approachable.
But it's not overly kind of sanitized. It's still a bold. And I know people who find this challenging. I love the bottle as well. It's so heavy.
It's beautiful to hold. Yeah.
And you could bash someone to death with it.
But it's not like
It's good stuff.
it's not like sort of Tuscan Leather Diet or something like that, you know? It has a huge personality of its own. I would still happily, if I could find the original formulation Tuscan Leather, I'd still buy that in a heartbeat. But this thing, in the meanwhile, is a good everyday leather
Great
thing.
purchase.
Also, you can buy Le Yucawam, Montal Oud Leather,
Yeah.
Golden Boy, Arab Tradition, Al Rehab. You know, so there are things out there that do this, but you know, you may as well get it from the man himself. I think.
Great juice. Good purchase. Right, my number 4 is one I spent a while umming and ahhing about. It's an absolutely incredible fragrance. This is definitely top 5 of the fragrances I own without any hesitation. It's an extraordinary complex fragrance from. We've reviewed this fragrance before. I'm just going to show you what. So it's Mem
I love that.
by Bourgoer, which is Antonio Gardoni.
T-Rex man.
Yes. So this is a lavender, an aromatic lavender. If you wanted to be incredibly simplistic, if you want to be more realistic, it's a kaleidoscopic olfactory experience.
It really is.
Whenever I wear this, it takes me on a different journey. Sometimes it gets straight to the animalic. Sometimes I get this really floral mid. Sometimes I get a kind of hay feel to it.
Well, okay.
There's so much going on. And even if you just took it on face value as a lavender fragrance, you get so many levels of lavender.
Yeah.
There's dry lavender, there's fresh lavender, there's kind of juicy lavender. I don't understand how he did this. It's amazing.
And it sort of comes across on first spraying, first wearing. It comes across as like a real classically made, beautiful fougere. And then it just explodes and it goes in, and you think, wow, that wasn't what I was thinking at all.
Yeah.
And how he does that for something that's...
It's amazing because
not a
we talked about, you know, over the year we've talked about some fragrances which maybe take animals or take cities or take stories or take places, and so we've got these kind of slightly edgy stroke wacky fragrances because of that. This is a lavender fragrance. This is the most traditional thing you can possibly imagine.
This is where it all starts.
And yet
out,
this is one of the most creative, adventurous fragrances I own.
Yeah.
It's so complicated. It's so beautiful. I mean,
is this a modern reinterpretation of something like Diptyque would have been once upon a time? The sort of fresh lavender, but the big animalics going on behind. I mean, obviously a different take, but harkening back to the sort of clean / dirty.
It's extraordinary. And when we mentioned Antonio Gardoni before, so he is an architect by training, not a perfumer. And how to do something like this, so kind of early in his journey's perfumer, it's mind-boggling. This is perfume as art.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, definitely my top 5, maybe my kind of top 3.
Yeah, for me the same.
Not just of the year that I own it. It's an extraordinary fragrance.
And again, check out the house, check out Mai as well,
Yeah.
which I think is an absolutely stupendous thing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We've bought some good stuff this year.
As I said, it's been a very fragrant
I'm really
year.
pleased.
What else we've got?
So, number 2. So Dan was with me when I purchased this, so this won't be any surprise. But the first time I smelled this, it was stood right here. I immediately thought back to the old school 80s, big classical Chypre style fragrances, but the kind of medallion on the chest rug. Dan has talked about Turkish Leather. This is maybe its little brother, which is Mora.
I haven't smelled this for a while. I really want to smell it.
Which is that bad boy right there.
Go on, get it out.
And I think this fragrance is me. It feels like I put this on and I'm just in my comfort zone.
Look at the colour of
There
that
it is.
juice.
It's a beautiful dark.
Yeah.
Almost like something you've extracted from a volcano. Go for it. So this thing contains very interesting notes, including civet coffee.
Yes.
Which is absolutely wonderful, like dark, rich, slightly animalic filth.
I don't know. I need to buy this.
Really
I need to buy this.
So good. It's so good, isn't it? I mean, what we got? Tuberose. There's tobacco, there's frangipane, there's a big slug of oak moss.
That's extraordinary.
Every time I wear this, I'm in bliss all day long.
It's so opulent.
It's absolutely wonderful. Do you know?
Unbelievably opulent.
I could be wearing this, and I could be run over by a car,
It's like galvanism.
and I'd lie on the road, and I'd smell my wrist, and go, you know what? It's fine. I don't mind. Because it's so beautiful.
Extraordinary.
And also, you know, an sort of unheard of person before we'd sort of gotten wind of him. And he's doing some incredible stuff, this guy, Pryn Lomros.
Yeah.
Absolute treat. Cumin as well, ash. I don't know what ash smells like, but it goes with the tobacco and gives it that slight dryness.
So the incense as well. Despite all these big
so
rich
gorgeous.
notes, there's a sparkling quality to it as well.
Opium.
We should say, even though you've talked about those notes, and some of the notes do sound a bit similar to Ottoman Empire. It smells
they're worlds
absolutely,
apart,
absolutely nothing. This is more. I don't want to say, if I say ethereal, it sounds light. It's not light. It's much brighter.
Yeah. This to me, like I said at the
A lot
time
of
we wore
incense
it,
as well, sparkling incense.
it reminds me of a vintage Derby of the 80s.
Yeah, I know what you
which
mean,
was a much bigger leather. It was a cheaper then, and now it's a sort of lighter fougere.
Yeah.
This thing really harkens back in that world.
Okay, so to my last
Beautiful.
purchase, so to talk about something completely different to that, from the house of Pryn Parfum.
Hey!
So this is Turkish Leather. So I've mentioned
Great
this
minds.
a number of times. I've mentioned this a number of times on Instagram. I'm not going to make any apologies about it because
No, it's a masterpiece.
it is one I'm so glad to have, and I just love wearing and love smelling.
Yeah.
It's
You've inspired me with this one.
it's dark.
It's fantastic.
So it's kind of a gourmand, that it has this kind of Turkish delight vibe to it. It also has some dried fruits, and it has chocolate and coffee, but it's so dark as well. It's really dark, almost burnt leather. I've never smelled anything quite like it, and it lasts forever, and it just makes me so happy and excited when I smell it. It's so good. Try and get a sample. I mean, go to the Pryn website and try and get a load of samples. But
Really White have them, don't they? Is that what we got? Yeah, Really White.
Really White in the UK. They also send samples worldwide, or buy them from the Pryn website.
And he's making other stuff as well, isn't he? He's got
absolutely.
The Strangers, he's got the...
But this
What's the series? Prasanna?
Prasanna
Which are
and
wonderful,
Strangers is other two houses. But this is one of his first releases, and again, to hit the ground running like this.
Yeah. Exactly. How do you come up with something that's so wonderful?
So these are, I
first-
bought quite a few fragrances this year. I wouldn't like to try and guess how many, or say in public how many, to my wife. These 5 are all quite different fragrances, and I'm really pleased. I bought this for full retail at Areej White, which is a brilliant shop. I'm so happy. It was £140, I think.
They're good value.
£140 for 50ml, but a little goes a long way. And
the quality of the
I'm very
ingredients is
happy.
second to none, isn't it? I mean,
yeah. I should say
this is quality
Ma'am, I
stuff
also
that's
paid
going
full
in.
retail as well. So that was from Bloom Perfume in Soho. Anyway, what is your number 5?
Another great shop. My number 5, I just picked up the other day. I had the original. I've actually lost it. Yeah. Well, this is the crazy thing is that the first time I smelled this, I liked it so much, and I thought it can't get better than that. That's it. It's doing everything I need it to do. Then I lost it, so it wasn't doing anything. But this is a re-release, a reinterpretation, of the original, and some people have said that it harkens more to the original version of this fragrance, which had more oak moss and was the sort of the more opulent and the more real, true to character. So it's New York Intense.
So this is something
by Parfum de Nicolai. Oh yeah, the reflection.
But this is something which has now been getting quite a lot of love since Luca Turin gave it 5 stars. But I mean, God, rightly so. I mean,
I put it on the other day, and I swear to God, it's a sort of weird magnet thing. I wore it all day. By the end of the day, it had just morphed into this cozy. Go for it, absolutely. It had morphed into this cozy, oak mossy, classical barbershoppy fougere.
It smells like $1 million.
Yeah.
It smells
totally
like absolute class.
This, I would imagine, is what Chanel Pour Monsieur would have been back in 1955 when it first emerged. This is an 80s fragrance.
I've got to buy this. I don't know why I haven't bought it. Again, I haven't bought it because I own the original, but I just need to buy it.
And I smelled this on my shirt coming into my bedroom the other day, and it was just hanging on the door.
He smells great.
Yeah, exactly. Who's in my room? Who's been in here with my wife? But it's it's so beautiful.
There is a little bit more bitterness than New York.
It's a bit more astringent, and I think it just has longer limbs in every direction.
It's a bit more of a kick in the nuts than bit in the best possible.
But the dry down goes into this beautiful direction. If you like things like Bois de Portugal, you'll enjoy something like this. Yeah, this is much better for me. And value wise, it's a small bottle. Admittedly, I never buy huge bottles. Sometimes that doesn't make sense. I sometimes don't want to buy the huge bottles because I've already got the original somewhere in my flat. But this is like 50 quid for a good 30ml, which is going to last well. And it's beautiful. Parfum de Nicolai, Patricia de Nicolai, great granddaughter of Jacques Guerlain.
Yeah.
Wonderful perfumer as far as I can tell from everything.
Amazing things. Patchouli Intense.
Yeah, beautiful.
Cuba, amazing fragrances.
I really want to try things like Odalisque and things like that, which I don't think are so easily available.
So anyway, those are our 10 best buys of 2018. I mean, there are still a few days left, so we could buy something else. But comment below, tell us what you bought and you love.
Yeah, give us some suggestions of what to do with...
Or what to buy next year.
Yeah, well, exactly. But we'll probably start tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm actually thinking of buying some stuff tomorrow. So.
Then you got January sales as well, so you need the same. Anyway,
Black Friday? Is that
no, we've done that. Anyway, until next time, happy sniffing.
Bye.